It's time once again to talk about the king. Yes, that's right, it's time to start Godzilla Month 2, voted for by you. I'm Alexthehunted here in my new lair, and I'm looking forward to a whole month, or however long it takes me to edit all 4 reviews, of talking about the king of the monsters. And let's start things off with the clash of the two kings. Yes, the first movie in Godzilla Month 2 is King Kong versus Godzilla. Roll the opening credits. Or titles, or whatever it is. Roll it! By the way, I couldn't get the original Japanese cut of this movie, so we have to make do with the American version. So our movie begins, oddly, with a Shakespeare quote.
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Honestly, this is the closest Godzilla will ever get to Shakespeare. We then cut to the United Nations and their news reporters.
This is United Nations reporter Eric Carter with the news.
Hi, Eric Carter! So a series of earthquakes have been destroying Chile. And I'm sorry, I must have put Thunderbirds on by mistake, because that's clearly Thunderbird 5. Oh well. Anyway, we get a lot of exposition from Carter about what's going on in Chile, and that in Japan they're seeing a lot of ice boulders that are floating around in the sea, and they're melting rapidly. And the Japanese scientists have found a new type of berry that can be used as a narcotic. That is on a mysterious island that is totally not 100% Skull Island. And that the natives of the island believe that there is a monster living on the island that they worship as a god. He dumps all this exposition on us in the first 5 minutes, all while having this smile on his face, looking like he's about to crack up. Anyway, we cut to the actual Japanese movie, where we meet the 2 scientists that found the berries. Talking to his employers, saying that they have to go back to the island to collect more berries, but the natives won't allow it. Also, their publicist wants to get more money and more recognition for their brand, so they also want to go to the island and take this monster if it lives on there. Anyway, our 2 main heroes are called Saturai and Vegeta.
That's it! Everyone dies!
No, it's not that Vegeta. This guy is a lot less whiny and a lot less badass. Anyway, those 2 are heading to not Skull Island, and while that's going on, we cut to the submarine in the Arctic Ocean, where there's a mysterious light coming from one of the ice blocks, and they decide to dive and check it out. And then soon crash into said ice block. And it means they have to call for Mayday before the submarine is destroyed, with them in it. And it looks like it does get destroyed, because after this we never see or hear about the submarine again, because when the rescue helicopter comes to save them, we see what was in the iceberg the whole time.
Godzilla!
That's right, everyone, Godzilla. After being trapped in the ice from Godzilla Raised Again, he has now broken free from his ice tomb to wreak havoc on Japan yet again. So as Godzilla escapes, Carter again has to chime in to say that Godzilla's on his way to Japan. What a shock. We then cut to the head of the Japanese military, Dr. Shirazawa, and hang on a second. I know that face. That's Akira Hirata. He was in the original Godzilla film. Hell, he's been in a ton of Godzilla films. He was also in the original Rodan and the original Mothra. He's even been in Ultraman. He was even in the 1962 47 Ronin. It's good to know your actors. So the military toys, I mean tanks, attack Godzilla, and as usual they don't do a damn thing. This was the first Godzilla movie to be shot in colour, so this was the first movie that established that Godzilla's atomic breath is blue. It also established that Godzilla is black, not green, and also establishes that a Godzilla has a weakness to electricity. So we then cut to the head of the medicine people, who are funding the trip to Not Skull Island. And does he care that Godzilla is destroying thousands of homes and likely killing thousands of people? No, he just wants more publicity from a monster that he has. But he does give us some fine overacting. I'm acting! Anyway, Sakurai and human Vegeta have made their way to Not Skull Island, which in this movie they call Faroe Island. Why the name change? I guess it was some kind of rights dispute. Anyway, they find the natives and oh, God, right, yeah, this movie was made in the 60s. I forgot racial stereotyping was abound in these times. Yes, the island's natives are Japanese blackface. Christ, this was different times.
No, listen. We're here on a goodwill mission. Got it?
I'm not here to become their dinner. Oh.
수회로만 이까면 롱웨트마스 수회로 이 프렌즈 비롱우 미회로 오이 라이크 looking 프렌즈 비롱우 미회로.
Listen, we want the chief to know we came here as his friends. Tell him a big boat is coming back for us tomorrow and smile, will you?
I smile.
미회로 이 마스터 스타프 시라 마스키 라리무 미회로 이 스타프.
No, God!
So Sakurai and Vegeta give the natives such great gifts like a radio and cigarettes. They even give cigarettes to children. Our heroes have truly brought wonderful gifts to these people. I'm just gonna say, what the fuck am I watching?
Look at them. Ignorant, primitive savages. Frightened to death by a little lightning up in the sky. And you're no better.
Oh, please, dear God, let it end. Mercifully, we cut back to Eric Carter as the American cut decides to give us a lesson about dinosaurs. And Godzilla, saying that Godzilla was a cross between the T-Rex and the Stegosaurus. At least they're not saying he's just a mutated lizard. Anyway, we cut back to more racism as Shigura and Vegeta go exploring on the island with some natives when they hear a loud roar and basically run away. Anyway, out of nowhere, a giant octopus shows up. And I think that's a real-life octopus they let loose in the miniatures. So the giant octopus attacks the natives and we get some terrible blue screen. That's so bad you can actually see the blue edge around all the people. So as the natives and our heroes struggle to fight off the giant octopus, guess who shows up? Yes, King Kong comes to save the day. And it's really quite a quick fight. I think it's because how dangerous it was for a suit actor to fight an actual real-life octopus. So the octopus leaves and King Kong celebrates by getting royally pissed, to the point that he passes out. So we get some more lessons in giant monster biology from Eric Carter. Yay, such fun. Ugh. Anyway, back at the original movie, our heroes start to transport Kong to Japan, and the pharmaceutical company that funded the trip are claiming ownership over Kong. Yeah, because that worked out so well for the people who tried to take him to New York. Anyway, on the way back, the boat transporting Kong is told that they're not allowed to enter Japanese water because Kong is considered a menace.
I have government orders. King Kong is not to enter Japan. Considered a menace.
I don't know about you, but a menace is someone who vandalizes a wall with a spray can, not a giant gorilla that can completely level the entire city. I mean, what's Godzilla? An annoyance? Anyway, we get news that Godzilla is heading to Hokkaido, which is in the path of the train that Vegeta's girlfriend is on.
And now the woman's here!
General Masami Shinzo, in charge of Japan's defense, has kept the emergency council in all-night session.
I beg your pardon, General Shinzo, but this is our latest report. Godzilla's nearing Hokkaido.
I'm sorry, sir, it sounds like
My dub voice actor changed during the reading of this line.
So Godzilla attacks the train that Vegeta's girlfriend is on, but Vegeta arrives just in time to save his girlfriend, as she flails about in the river. So back on the boat, King Kong starts to wake up, so our heroes have no choice but to blow him up. But the comedy boss tries to stop them. However, the cables connecting the TNT got cut, so they have to shoot it. But of course the TNT goes off and it doesn't do jack to King Kong and he just escapes. That's right, King Kong escapes. And Kong heads directly into the path of Godzilla, leading to the first time the two monsters meet face to face. And King Kong runs away after a couple of Godzilla's atomic breaths scare him off. And also because I think Godzilla has the high ground. It's over, King Kong. I have the high ground. It also seems that I can't stop flapping my arms. So with King Kong a failure, the army decides to trap Godzilla using something Wile E. Coyote would use. Only this time they're pouring tons of gasoline into the river, killing all life in there, and making the water undrinkable for God knows how long. It's all so they can make a path of fire to lead Godzilla into the pit that's full of TNT. Because as we all know, Godzilla is afraid of fire. Somehow the fire leads Godzilla to the hole of TNT, which they set off, however it doesn't even scratch Godzilla. We get more cutting to the American parts of the movie, with more Eric Carter, as they explain that the Japanese are creating some kind of electric fence that should keep Godzilla out of Tokyo, because they discovered Godzilla has a weakness to electricity. But King Kong becomes stronger when he gets shocked. Why does King Kong get stronger when touching electricity when it's never been established in any other movie? Well, because originally King Kong vs. Godzilla was, at first drafts, actually going to be King Kong vs. Frankenstein, where the big G fought a Godzilla-sized monster that looked like Frankenstein's monster. However, this was scrapped, but Toho kept the Frankenstein idea and made Frankenstein Conquers the World, which was the Toho movie that introduced Baragon into the Toho universe. Anyway, the electric blockade actually works on Godzilla and he moves away from Tokyo. But then King Kong's along and starts eating the electricity and makes his way into Tokyo. Vegeta and his girlfriend get separated again, and King Kong stumbles across the same train that Vegeta's girlfriend is on, and guess who he takes a fancy to? Well, I've got my girl, time to go climb a building because that always ends well for me. So Vegeta has the idea to use powder from the berries in a missile, and once it explodes over King Kong it will put him to sleep because of the narcotic properties of the berries. And his girlfriend will be just okay in this plan, I guess. It works, putting Kong to sleep, making him fall off a building, again, also saving Vegeta's girlfriend. So I guess that Vegeta and Bulma can now have Trunks and he can go back in time and warn Vegeta about Mechagodzilla or something. So with Kong asleep, how will they get him out of Tokyo? And off to fight Godzilla? Well, you'll love this, they use giant weather balloons to float Kong to Mount Fuji where Godzilla currently is. Oh god, I don't know about you, but it's stuff like this that really makes me love the Godzilla films. And you know, I think we need to change the music for this scene. So they fly Kong to Mount Fuji where Godzilla is and airdrop King Kong on top of Godzilla. So the Clash of the Titans begin. And considering this was only the second Toho Kaiju movie to have Kaijus battle each other in, it's actually really a good fight. Each monster puts up a good fight and there's a good variety of moves. It never comes across like one monster is completely dominating the other. It doesn't do that kind of Rocky thing where one monster is completely getting beaten down and then gets up and wins and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't actually do that per se. So Godzilla starts getting the upper hand until Kong gets struck by lightning, just out of sheer convenience, making him so strong he can swing Godzilla around by his tail and shove a tree down his throat. Also, I think the budget ran out during this fight because we soon cut to a cliff shot where it's clear that the two monsters fighting are just two toys behind an actual, like, just cardboard cutout and they're just playing with them. Guys, I have exclusive footage of the new Godzilla film! Roar! I am Godzilla. I am going to fight you, Gigan. No, I will fight you and you will lose. Let us fight. So King Kong and Godzilla destroy the Pagoda building, which will become a tradition of the entire Showa series. The two then fall off a cliff, continuing the fight underwater until Kong surfaces. What happened to Godzilla is unknown. So did King Kong win? Or did Godzilla win? Is Kong retreating, or was it a draw? The movie ends leaving it open, which I kind of like. It makes it look like, you know, after everything that happened, it was just a draw. It doesn't favour one monster over the other. And that was King Kong vs. Godzilla. For a Clash of the Titans, it's pretty damn good. Definitely the highlight of the movie is when King Kong and Godzilla are on screen together. And there's definitely a lot of unintentionally hilarious moments with like the bad dubbing, some of the special effects are pretty bad, and they seem to have this problem where King Kong's arms seem to change size depending on what they need him to do, and Godzilla won't stop flapping his arms for some reason, like he's trying to take off and fly. The only real problem I have is it's very clear when the US cuts are in this movie. It just cuts back and forth from the US movie to the true Japanese cut of the movie. And really the only reason that the US dub parts are in there are just to fill it with a load of exposition. And it just comes off as kind of annoying. But all in all, give it a watch if you want some good 60s cheese. Next time we head to Godzilla in the 2000s. Well, 1999.